So this wonderful book from Takahiro Murakami, Arigo de Nego to iimashita, which can be directly translated as "I spoke in my sleep with in art language" or whatever. Murakami is Dr. Murakami is researcher of ants, and in this really delightful book, he describes his experiences as he researched these wonderful social creatures in Panama and other fields, and this book has a lot of insights into how their society is constructed. And when we think about society, we tend to think in terms of some norms set up according to some principles, and we tend to think it in a really narrow bound. For example, when you think of an individual working in society, you tend to focus only one or two functionalities, and you tend to judge an individual based on that functionality. But this really wonderful book, shows without doubt, I think, that this concept of society, what you can do in society, is actually really diverse. It has a broad spectrum. So even if an individual appears to be working less laboriously, it doesn't mean that this creature is not contributing to society, because there are many ways, so many ways that a society can be organized and become adaptive to the environment. Dr. Murakami's fields in such delightful countries like Panama, and I never realized that there is this really wonderful island in Panama, in the lake, and that actually constitute part of the Panama Canal system. And so Dr. Murakami goes to the island, and he searches for ants, and he discovers the ants, and he does all these wonderful observational stuff. And this book is a really delightful description of that observational stuff. And also, Dr. Murakami is actually right now studying ant language, which is really, I think, important field. Actually, the ants are literally speaking to each other. I think that's a great discovery, and Dr. Murakami is writing some seminal papers on it, and I can't wait to see these papers coming out. Anyway, for those outside Japan, I should say that Japan actually has a long tradition of people studying insects, and Kyushu University, that's where Dr. Murakami is, based right now, has a long tradition of people who studies insects. When I was a kid, I used to study butterflies, and there was this wonderful professor, Shirozu, Takashi Shirozu, at Kyushu University. He was the numero uno, number one in butterfly studies. And when I was a kid, when I was 10 years old, I went to Kyushu University and had the privilege of meeting and chatting with Professor Shirozu for a brief period of time. So that's one of my really precious childhood memories. And, Kyushu University carries that tradition. And so Dr. Murakami is a member of a wonderful group of people who studies insects. And I should say this is a really wonderful book, and maybe a really good documentary, like those by David Attenborough can be made out of this book. So if you understand Japanese, I'm not sure if Dr. Murakami is working on an English version or not, but if you can read some Japanese, this is definitely a book to read, and a really delightful read. I spoke in my sleep in ant language. That's Dr. Murakami for you. Yeah.